What to do with the prisoner? Slung over the shoulder, on their way back to Squin, that question rushes through Rust-Tilt and friends' minds. Certainly he must be guarded. It's a creature they've never seen and seem to act purely on violence. The noises it makes as they run along with it are alien. But perhaps there's intelligence behind those noises and words, if they are words. Perhaps they can make contact, discuss things with it, figure out if there's a common ground. But until then, what to do with it? Throw it on the ground and keep guard, and if it tries to leave, attack? Make a makeshift cage and leave it there like a prisoner, perhaps even turning it against us for doing such a thing, and never being able to make contact with it because of it. Or to use it as a tool to learn how they act, how they fight, so we can prepare ourselves for fully going into the fog-infested lands where these creatures were found. All of these are possibilities, some perhaps more realistic than others. What they're going to do, though? Well, I guess we'll just have to find out. Our heroes find themselves just outside the hub. On their way back to Squin with a prisoner over their shoulder, it comes to their attention that, A, they're not entirely certain they'll be allowed to take an unconscious creature, a fogman, if they even know what that is, into the city of Squin itself without them wanting to kill it, and B, we have no way to keep this thing prisoner outside of keeping it unconscious from time to time. There is a way that we could keep them prisoner, and that would require having a proper cage. But we don't have the research yet to provide ourselves with a proper cage, and in fact, what that requires is more research at the bench, and then having a level 3 research bench there for us to actually research that cage. So that's going to be what these our folks are going to do when they get back home. For now, we're going to let our Squin workers do this, because there'd be no way they would know that we want a cage built, and to get them to research it would be a little metagamey, and I arguably, that's a stupid thing to do, but in the way that this gameplay has been going, I'd prefer to keep it that way. Our biggest concern anyway is getting these guys back to Squin, and there's no guarantee we'd be able to bring them back to Squin in one piece. There's just no way to know that. We may have to ditch the prisoner and leave them behind if we start getting chased by some sort of bandits or something. But we're not going to worry about that too much right now. The big goal is to just see if we can get them back. And even if we can't bring back this creature, this fogman, and we have to ditch them along the way, at the very least, it has provided Hobbs plenty of strength training, and it continues to really help him. His athletics is going up quite high. Though the athletics of, say, Kang might be more valuable to us, we may swap him over to Kang with him at 22 strength. We've brought Hobbs up from what was 18 or 19 strength up to the 20s, on par with everybody else in our little traveling group. I think another thing that has truly weighed down on Rust-Tilt's mind since the traversal into the fog is just how truly dangerous almost everywhere surrounding the Borderlands is. We thought the Borderlands was dangerous, and it is. It is a dangerous place to live, but every place in the wasteland is seemingly dangerous, and everywhere we go seems to have things that are stronger, more dangerous, and scarier than what seems to wander in the wastes of the Borderlands, which tends to just be very hungry bandits and dust bandits and nothing more. So we're not going to concern ourselves too much about that. What we're really going to need to do is guard this particular creature once we bring him home. We have a camp up ahead as well to our right-hand side. A dust bandit camp by the looks of it. So let's try not to get caught here by the dust bandits. Presumably they're dust bandits. We see a fire on the edge side over here, yet we see nobody around. Perhaps abandoned camps. Nope, there they are, sitting on the high end here. Dust bandits. Their attack is actually really low compared to ours. Why is it so low? Darkness. Is it darkness? But even in darkness, equipment bonuses, we're much better off. And then they have actually a, oh, well, see, there they go. They have a Shek as part of their crew. I think we're still going to have them head out that way. Oh, alright. Steam. I want everybody to head this way, and we'll just keep an eye on them. The bandits may not care, they may not even see us, and if they do, we probably have a better than good chance to get to the gates of Squin to seek safety prior to having to worry about anything. So, the real test is going to be this. Can we get through the gates, and what will they do about it, if anything? They genuinely may not care at all, and that's kind of where I'm hoping it's going to land, but who knows? The guards certainly see us as we approach the gate. Perhaps not seeing that we're carrying anybody, but certainly see us. And as we kind of breach into the light, I'm sure the guards see this corpse over our shoulders. They're check. It could go one of two ways. They want us to stop. Smuggling check. Show them your gear. Sure. It doesn't seem to matter. And they just let us in with this unconscious body. That's fantastic. Like I said, it could go one of two ways. Because we have that issue of carrying an unconscious body over our shoulders, but because they're Shek, either they would want them and take them prisoner, or they would just straight up stop us altogether. So I'm gonna take Hobbs and have him go upstairs. I think we're gonna drop this body off upstairs. We'll speed along here. Everybody is gonna get inside. They're gonna eat. But most importantly, Hobbs is going to come up here. Now, I'm very curious what's going to end up happening when we put him down. He's still unconscious, and he's going to be unconscious for about 5 more seconds. And he's in critical condition. We can throw him out of our home, we can pick him up, or we can first aid him. Why don't we go ahead and first aid him a bit? He's in a recovery coma. But I need him guarded at all times. So I'm going to have Kang up here guard him. And just keep an eye on him. Maybe even Kang picking him up so he can't move. And I was hoping that we could have them head patrol a bit. But no such luck. I was hoping we could go have him, like, set him up back and forth. Now the question is, how are we going to make this work? And the answer is actually quite simple. We're going to start getting preparations for holding our very first prisoner. We'll see how that ends up working for us in the long run, and what we're gonna end up doing with this prisoner, because I genuinely do not know. But I think the potential of it being a lot of fun, or at the very least useful, is definitely there. We can drop all that food, and then we can go pick up the rest of this. We'll go across and sell it, but I'm mostly concerned in wanting the books. We want to buy them out of books, or at least buy a lot of them, because we need to do some research on level 3 researching bench, and I think we'll kind of get a proper economy up and running. There he is. We'll wait for him to show up down here, speed along. All right, let's actually give him a chat real quick. Welcome back. Thanks. Hobbs has been gone for a few days. Once Nines and, what's his name? Fall end up popping back in and seeing us again, hopefully they're excited. I'm just gonna take all the books. I genuinely don't think there's a reason not to. So I'm gonna pop over here. We're gonna go and pop, I think we just need 10 for research bench level 3. So we're gonna pop those and 2 more. We're gonna go tech level 3, and we'll have Rusthilt do what he does best and start the research up for us. Hobbs, in the meanwhile, can just hang out. Kang is still upstairs, hopefully still holding that dead body. Yep, or the unconscious body anyway. And now the question is, what do we do? So, who's our best armor smith right now? Hobbs. Oh, Kang came, here we go. Fall came back, probably sees everybody. Really thrilled to see that everybody lived. I want to keep creating something. Well, after a few days of adventuring, everybody's back home. The crew is back together, and it's just come to my attention just how far we've come from just Rust Hilt now to our own little business. Hobbs have decided to send back to working on cloth. I really want him to continue working on his armor crafting skill. And the better that gets, the better the quality of these bandanas are going to go. And while currently the bandanas he's creating and throwing into the armor thing are not very good. They're all pretty bad. They've upgraded from prototype to shoddy quality, which means they're immediately worth a lot more by 40 extra cats, from 6 cats to 40. And the further that goes up, the more they're going to be worth. And all it takes to create bandanas is cloth, which is ridiculous. So I think we're going to have him working on this for quite some time and kind of keep him working on it. In the meanwhile, I would like Hobbs to still be part of the adventuring group. This is part of having just such a small group. Everybody does something a little different or a little more often. So you kind of have to multitask more or less. So we're going to keep on doing that. I would like to just repeat the queue. I don't know what that is. On, off, there we go. And he's going to keep on working and setting those until we have enough people that we can either have more working with us on the adventuring side of things, which is definitely what Rust Hilt has been thinking right now. But there are a few cheap people who are looking to just escape their everyday lives and want to just be part of something more. And this thought doesn't truly leave the mind of Rust Hilt. While he has this outlook to go to this Dust King's Tower and remove the Dust Bandits from the Borderlands, in a way, he's sort of becoming the reverse, a Robin Hood-esque figure, at least in his mind, especially with Ruka and Kang and whispering these warrior-like tropes into his ear and glorification of combat, to become this Robin Hood type person. And instead of, welcoming the dredges of society to set off on the streets and set up checkpoints and rob people for what little cats they may have, instead, Rust Hilt could go out and scoop up the dredges of society and aim them towards something better, a life worth living, the hero of the Borderlands. And there are a few that we've come across that are cheap and don't have a lot of skill, but it doesn't mean they can't be put to use and work towards something better. And that's where he begins to think maybe having Nines and Fall doing this mining, while it seems tedious, we could start maneuvering them a little bit and picking up people to do the labor that is going to be needed as we expand beyond Squin, as our eyes set across the wasteland to set up our own hub of society, picking up people to create clothes, better armor, and have our own little self-contained unit of folks might be the way we want to go. And that is something worth researching. However, before we get too far, and before we go rescuing and hiring other people, Rust Hilt has finished his research. Now, the question is, how big is research level 3? About as big as research level 2. So, I think what we want to do is take Rust Hilt and say, go ahead and dismantle this thing. Break it down for whatever supplies we can get. It's going to take some time. We'll go ahead and speed it up. And then we'll put our 3rd level research bench here. And then we can get a cage. The question then becomes, do we keep the cage indoors or we display them proudly? The Fogman that we kidnapped from the nefarious Foglands that so many people have apparently heard of except for Rust Hilt. And then we can move on from there and display him as a trophy while we also figure out what use he is to us, if there is a use at all. In the meanwhile, we will need some new plates, so let's go ahead and send Ruka out, and we'll just kind of get things prepped and researched. The big goal here is to get cages researched, so I think I'm just going to work towards that right now, and I can see you all on the other side. With prisoner in tow, Ruka and Kang convinced Rust Hilt the best thing to do would be display our dear friend to the city. To show them that while we are flat-skinned, some of us, we're just as good as warriors. Nobody else in this town has a Fogman as a prisoner. Most would fear to go there, or at the very least would go there expecting to die, but it'd be a warrior's death and that would be honorable. But we went, and we came back with a prisoner. Little did they know that we're opportunists. But we did, in fact, go to the fog and come back alive, and with a prisoner. And so, we plop him in. Fogman, who is currently crippled, to sit and heal. We will splint his injuries to truly bring him back. Because I'm curious what we can do with him, if anything. He looks like a hive. That's what he looks like a little bit. little bluish and clearly not as nice, but still not bad. And his abilities aren't terrible either, or rather aren't great either. His run speed is currently 1 mile per hour, and his hunger goes down at about a regular rate, though it seems like perhaps now, not so much. I don't know if there's something we can do. I don't want to forage animals. I don't know if there's something we can do as far as, I don't know, take care of him. But for now, he will display it frontward facing toward the city to look upon all that now owns him. And what we can do with him, we're not entirely sure. But Kang will stand guard for now. He will watch to make sure all is well. Rostilt will go back to finishing researching, currently researching basic first aid kits. And Ruka, well, Ruka's been the brains behind a lot of Rustilt's decisions, planting seeds of true warrior callings. Now she sits here. But we still have much to do. Recruiting more, perhaps there's somebody worth grabbing, and we can head out and see if we can discover any of them. But in the meanwhile, we have plenty of these things to be selling off. And so we're going to. We're going to go ahead and put these back and keep selling off all of these shoddy grade things that our dear boy Hobbs has been making. He's out of cloth right now, but that's okay. We have to do a little business here in town anyway. And then I think we're going to swing out to the hub. Rustilt will stay here to continue researching, unless he's finished with everything. No, he's got quite a ways to go. We can send Ruka and Kang on their own, I think, and they would do relatively well. I think they'd also stay relatively safe. A scrap tent, we already know it, so we don't have to worry about that. Does Kang have food in his inventory? Kang doesn't have anything in his inventory. Kang is actually overloaded. Though he'd like to stand guard of our new prisoner, I don't think our prisoner is going to be escaping anytime soon. I'd be worried that he might escape, but it seems like that's not going to be the case. So for now, actually, why don't we have Hobbs work on the leather working bench? So that way he can start working on this. And there's plenty of leather. And Kang, let's actually go ahead and grab a bunch of these and bring them up here and throw them in the inventory. I want him at least working all the while we're gone. There we go. That should take him some time. I don't know what skill this actually improves. It actually improves his armor smithing. Our dear Hobbs might actually be best left behind. His strength is good, but he is becoming quite the armor smith. But we're not going to make that decision yet, because we're going to take our duo of warriors here, and we're going to send them straight to the hub. There's a few people within the hub that we want to keep eyes on, so we're going to make sure that that's going to keep going. And we have tech to still research, so we might as well see if we can do anything. Hemp-based fabrics, for instance. Illegal in some parts of the world, probably because it's made out of hemp, and hemp. It took me a while to get there. Actually, let's go ahead and throw in defensive walls as the next thing for him to research. I think for obvious reasons. One of the big things we want to do while we're here is really knock out all the basic research that will serve us well once we officially head out and move beyond Squin. Still a little ways away, I think, but each episode we get closer, and each session I play that, creates an episode, there's some good progress being made. I'm quite happy with how moving forward, or how at the pace that we're moving forward, especially for playing a game like this that I had no idea how to play. I'm going in completely blind. The only thing I know to do, because I've played plenty of other survival games, is be incredibly cautious, and at the first sign of danger, just run. Just run, because if it's dangerous and you don't think you can take it, chances are that's exactly how it is. You can't take it, and you will end up losing your game and dying in the process, and I would rather not Rustilt go out like a complete chump. I have a feeling he may end up going out not exactly in the most honorable way, but he'll have learned a lot along the way, and I'm hoping that whatever ends up killing him, if he dies, who knows, maybe he won't die, and I'll kind of find a point where I'm happy to say goodbye to him. But I hope that whatever ends up being the end of his story is more suited to the choices he makes and not just complete and utter incompetence that killed him. I'd like it to be worthwhile. Anyway, Kang and Ruka swinging out. Another reason I want to send Kang out on a lot of these things is because his athletic skill needs a lot of work. It still needs to be quite high for it to be acceptable, I'd say. And it's been a while since we've been in the hub as well. We'll see what's going on in here. We're part of the Shinobi Thieves, so they should be fine. And since there are still Shinobi Thieves wandering around, that's usually a good sign that nothing has obliterated the hub yet. We still see guards sitting around, and hopefully a bartender still inside. Plenty of bartenders. So there was a cheap, poor, dirt poor woman here who was willing to talk. Let's see who we've got. Her. So let's see, before we say... Nope, but I learn real fast. I actually do want to see her skills. Seems like she gains experience really quickly. And her toughness goes up nice, but I don't know if that's just for the race she is. Who else is over here? Diplomat, oh, this is the pacifier. And then Stone, who's actually got martial arts. Who are you? Martial arts. Stone, gunner your service. Here to band together? Maybe, how much? Pay me once, 6,000 cats, and I'll follow. Let's grab both of them. A martial artist. That could be really interesting. I'll confirm Stone. And then we'll go ahead and grab the cheap girl here. We'll leave her as well, Heft. Heft and Stone. Coming along nicely. Now we're gonna guard them and bring them back. But let's take a look real quick at their stats here. Their proper stats. Stone is a martial artist. I have not messed with martial arts at all in this game, so I don't know what that means. His skill was so much better. Why is it now not so good? Why'd it go down? He's actually... Holy crap, he's actually incredible with crossbows. In turrets. Ooh, he may take the place of Hobbs, where we put Hobbs officially in Squin work. Hobbs has enjoyed traveling, but it's very clear he's at least inebriated 50% of the time and prefers to stay in a safe place. So that might be good. He also has precision shooting. Hobbs has a little precision shooting, but he has way more experience with crossbows, man. That's crazy. Heft, on the other hand, is useless, so she'll be a raw laborer for the most part. Welcome to the crew. Rust Tilt sent them out. I'm sure they spoke on behalf of Rust Tilt, let them know what it's going to be like here. We're going to make sure they're all running at the same speed. And it looks like Heft actually comes with a weapon. It's really garbage. Stone... actually comes with a standard first aid kit and some armor. Not great stuff, but some armor. We're going to go ahead and bring them back. We need some money anyway, so we could always come back to the hub if we need to for any reason whatsoever. But in the moment, I'm just going to run them back. And then what they're going to end up doing is going to be, I'm not sure. But we just added 2 more. I imagine while he's sitting at his research table, Rust Tilt turns to Kang and Ruka. Oh my god! What the fuck? Don't move. Garu. He's an adult, but he hits hard, and while it could be technically 4v1, it would really be like 2v1. Alright, can I get them out of here? Let's move them across, because I'd like to head them directly south here. I just don't want to annoy these Garu. Thank God he came sprinting up. Gave me a little bit of an alert here. As I was saying, I'm sure Rust Tilt, while researching, having all these thoughts flow through his mind, turns to Kang and Ruka and simply says, "In hub, there's a couple there." Or no, he would even just tell her about the one. Stone was their choice, but there's a woman there. She's cheap. She claims she has no skills, but's a fast learner. She looks like she needs to escape. Let's give her that. Instead of letting her join the bandits over time, which I'm sure would be a more appealing decision as time goes on, let's bring her here, turn her life around and show her the way. We will not let her go to the dust bandits. Instead, we will teach her to fight them. Oh, it looks like somebody's having a conversation here. Stone. Is he just singing? This. What is this? A song I was just humming. Oh, is that Kang or Ruka saying that? I do not care for it's Ruka. She doesn't care for the song at all. okay. Sorry there, Stone. Maybe if I sing about swords and heads being chopped off, I'll have your approval? Actually, yes, you would. I think. I'm curious what... She says nothing. Approved, but relent with the wobbling of the voice! Hello! We're being attacked. Dust bandits. So many of them. Whoa! Are we gonna be talked to? Okay. We're not too far from Squin. I don't know if there's a way I can talk to the boss. Where is he? Dust boss. And there's nothing else we can do but run. Stop talking about singing. You're being attacked. Run. And keep running. Don't stop. Don't stop. Stone is going to be left behind. They're all moving rather quickly, which is great. They got spanked a little bit, but if they can make it to Squin or within Squin, we'll be in an okay position here. I don't know why Ruka is moving super quickly here, but she is absolutely bolting. Heft has nothing to weigh her down. It's Kang and Stone that concern me. Isn't there like a faster way to be getting there? I want them there. Well, there's not much I can do about this. They seem to be very focused on, at the very least, Ruka, which is good. They're leaving Stone a little bit behind. And if the Dust Boss gets killed in this, that could be good too. We might even be able to take one prisoner if we want to let go of the Frogman or build a second one. Or Frogman, the Fogman. Or if we want to build a second cage, but ideally, no. He just got shot in the stomach. Defensive walls have just finished, but Stone just got pegged in the back by presumably this Dust Bandit here. Either collided with the stomach or an arrow that was stray that was being fired by this one back here hit him. Likely the arrow, actually, now that I think about it. But keep moving. Speed things up to ×2 here. There's not much we can do other than keep watch. Being chased, but they want Ruka. They want her bad. Why Ruka? The only thing I can think of is they've seen her plenty of times. Ruka has probably inflicted pain upon them in the past, being one of the Shek anyway. They want her and really nobody else. They'll pot shot a few here and there, but that seems to be the extent of it. But as we move in, they're gonna have to make a decision, these bandits. Push forward and risk being fought by the Shek guards, which seems all but inevitable at this point. Or turn back. But they're Dust Bandits. They're not gonna turn back. They're gonna fight. Unfortunately, running is pretty much the only thing we can do here while two of our people are under-equipped massively. But here they come. We're gonna pull aside here. Loop around. And then we're gonna swing in to fight. I want Ruka over here. Kang over here. And now we're gonna slow things down. Kang's gonna get involved. One drops immediately. Heft moves in to try and attack and flank with Stone. Actually takes the killing blow. Ruka's actually gonna join the rest of the guards over here. And I imagine this will be kind of a no-brainer. As everybody else starts swinging now as well, surrounding the rest of the bandits that are left. Down goes one. The rest are surrounded. Down goes all. We're gonna hold out for a moment. I want everybody here. Where's Kang going? They're gonna check our bags, which is fine. I don't know where Kang is going, but he's bouncing. Okay. Good stuff. Quickly loot what we can. Heft, on you. We definitely want the arrows. I think we're just gonna take everything here. Ruka, same for you. So Dust Bandit Bowman. So they committed a crime. They have a bounty of like 5, 5, 10. Not much. And definitely, in my opinion, at the very least, not worth it. But taking all of this just to sell off is worth it. I'm just curious if the boss is lying around. Doesn't seem to be. Probably one of the first ones they ended up grabbing. Alright, Kang and everybody, I want you over here. Still unconscious and crippled. We're gonna let him heal before we do anything. Once his right leg is healed, we might either talk to him, or if he just wants to fight, fight him. But Ares gonna swing on in. It's gonna help, it probably, or at least hopefully helped their toughness a bit. Heft went up in a couple. But that's about it. And we swang back with new people. I want everybody inside. Rostilt is getting to tend to their wounds. The introduction to these new folk are him tending to their bandages and wounds, and as they're explaining that they got attacked by bandits along the road. Unfortunately, that Rustilt's first interaction with these new people is to heal them, but once he hears the story that they were kind of attacked on the way here, there's not much he can really do about it. The first thing, though, is he yells for Hobbs to get his ass down here. Well, there you go. Hobbs, grab this. No, I know. Inventory. Grab all that. Come on down here. And perhaps happy for Hobbs, or breaking the news to Hobbs, there's going to be a bit of a switch on gear, on weaponry, and so on. So for now, we've got a junk bow. We're going to go ahead and swap that over for this standard crossbow. He's already got some ammo here, even though Hobbs has none. I didn't realize he has none. Perception bonus +6 is the same. I think we're going to go like so. High grade sneaky chain pants, always a good swap. And then a standard grade military shirt. And a secondary weapon that belongs to him. Though this might not be a big deal. We can always have Hobbs grab another one. We can just kind of throw him a ninja blade for now. And then he can go ahead and, I want you to throw those in there. And you can go back up to working on that. In the meantime, Heft is, shall we say, not entirely useless, but also not great. What Heft is going to do, I'm not entirely sure. Let's go ahead and throw this in here. I think we're just going to keep those. And I want to trade with Stone these, hopefully toothpicks. I haven't looked to see if they're actually toothpicks. They are. They are. So we'll go ahead and stash them. 40 shots in each one. And then Heft can kind of go about her own work. We'll probably put her in Squin work. But let's go ahead and go into our squad and manage it a little bit. Hobbs is going to be Squin work from now on. And I think Heft is going to be Squin work from now on. Though it puts us at an interesting situation where we're still rolling with 4 and not 5. But we have a lot more people doing work here now. One of these can work 2 people, I think. So I think Heft is going to be sent out here. Not because I want her to do, you know... Not because I want her to be just a manual labor person, but with such bare bones stats, we genuinely might as well just... Now, we might as well just get her basic stats up and running. Some armoring, mostly the athletics back and forth. Carrying the copper is going to help a great deal. In the meantime, Rustilt has been taking a look at the map. Places to go and adventure out forth and see what else is going on in this world, at least the surroundings, and get a general layout so he can still continue to think about where he'd want to lay down his foundations if he needed or had to. And I'm starting to I don't know if we've actually been to the stack. We've seen it, and I'm not sure who's there, but Drifters, Holy Nation, Mercenaries Guild, and Shinobi Thieves all sit in the stack. It might be worth it for us to travel out that way, and it'd be interesting to see Stone in action if we ever get into a fight. But before we do that, I'd like everybody to heal up first. So everybody who's going to be heading out on this trip needs to be healed completely. Rustilt is fine. He can actually keep an eye on this guy up here. Our Fogman is going to be sitting here crippled for quite a while, so we're just going to let him heal over time. For now, we're just going to let people heal up, and then I think off to the stack is our next go, just to see what we've got out there. Interesting. We can talk to him. Let's see what happens when Rustilt tries to open dialogue with a Fogman. So, do you understand me? So yes, re. And that's it. It just screeches re over and over and over again. Bizarre. Truly bizarre, but it at least answers one of the questions I had when we kidnapped him. Can we talk to them to learn more about them? The answer is yes, but also like, no, not at all. The sun arises and the doors open across the street. Ruka runs across to sell what she's got before we make our way out to an unknown area, as we seem to be doing quite often. So we want to make sure we have some cash. 11,000 sounds pretty good. And for now, we gather to the front gates, our crew of 4. The hub comes into view as they've come to expect by now. I would imagine it's very homely feeling to see the hub every time there. A sense of belonging, or at the very least a sense of familiarity. And that can bring a sense of comfort to somebody, including myself. But the stack is quite a ways off yet, and we'll be following them the whole way. And of course, along the way, those that we seek to eliminate try to cut us off. 2 dust bosses, which is interesting. We have a dust boss here who's making an announcement, and a dust boss here who's going home. I do wonder, yep, here they all come out of the woodworks. They did not look like they were all there a moment ago. But now they are going to try and stop us. And we're going to have to keep running to make it happen. We may need to double back toward the hub. It's directly there. We could keep running and hoping for the best, but we are heavily, heavily, heavily outnumbered. And I don't know what they would want off of us if they end up taking us down. I'm going to put this here. And this here. And be ready to fight, because I think we're about to get into one that we can't. Weapons, drop them. I've got better things to do than deal with a bunch of bloody snakes. Go to hell. Well, we're running. Hell ain't exactly where I'd like to go. Ow. Blood. And now they're running without concern? Well, if they're going to run without concern and not worry about each other, I'd really enjoy it if we went up here instead. So everybody hard turn. We're going to try and get to the shinobi thieves if we can here. I genuinely can't fight them. Stone is probably not going to make it. At least not right away. Kang. Ruka and Rusthilt are plenty fast enough. It's just Stone who's going to have their issues. For sure. So let's go in here. I want everybody here. Every single one of you. I'm hoping they'll turn around. Stone is going to need quite a lot of time to heal, and the hub is the only place that we're going to be able to provide that, I think. He goes down, begins to bleed out. Meanwhile, we're still being chased. Stone, unfortunately, being taken out is a bit of a pain. I think he's being robbed, but they didn't take anything worthwhile because they didn't have anything worthwhile on him. Meanwhile, we're here. Let's get to the top of the floor here. Here they come. Ah, new buyer, welcome. Nope, they turned around. They would not trespass into the hub, it seems. Stone is unconscious, but it's okay. Bumped up his toughness by a few points, which is nice. We're going to swing back out, grab Stone, heal Stone, bring him back. I think I forgot to bring food with me. I did. We'll have to buy some food while we're here. I don't know how I forgot to do that, but I did. Whose strength needs the most work? Rusthilt. So Rusthilt, you're going to pick him up. And we're going to get out. We're going to bring him into the bar. We can at least throw him on a bed for the time being. Rusthilt, put in bed. It's going to be $50 for bed, but that's okay. And then first aid him. You don't have a med kit. I disagree with you. So try again. For now, we'll slow things down. Ruka, let's go downstairs and buy whatever food they have. Not a whole lot that we can really grab that's worth it, but we're going to pretty much just buy everything they have food-wise. It It's a lot of money that I'd rather not spend, but it's acceptable for now. I'll even take that cloth. Preacher, race hiver. Interesting. Interesting bounty. But back up you go. We need you to be healed up before we can go. He's unconscious, but he'll be alright. He's in a recovery coma. We'll take him a little bit of time. Once the stomach reaches, I believe, -10 is his current stat. That'll bring him back out of it. But we're going to let him heal that up by a lot more than that. So for now, we find ourselves here in the hub. A place we've... keep finding ourselves. And we're going to have to hold out here. I'm going to buy all the med kits they have as well. Well, I feel silly. The stack is not what I thought it was. The stack is the Holy Nation capital, or at least the city of the Holy Nation, and I utterly and completely forgot about that. I thought it was a bar that we had passed in the desert that I avoided because it looked scary. That is what I was actually looking for, but it's not marked. Oh, Smuggler's Bar. That's what I'm looking for. That's where I want to go. This is our next destination. So, time to make our way that way. Back into the Borderlands. Off to this scary Smuggler's Bar to find out exactly what awaits for us there. It was a day of learning. A creature from the fog brought back, encaged, imprisoned. Discussed with, try to figure out if there's a common tongue they speak or a way to know what they want, and instead it screeches. Time spent at the research lab, learning how to make better walls, cages themselves, and ways to dispose of corpses so that those that we leave in the wasteland don't attract predators that will eventually kill us. It has been a productive day. Moreover, 2 more have been added to Rusthilt's crew. One sits back in Squin, where Hobbs is left behind, happy to be working in a house safe from the outside world, but one who proves to be quite a deadeye, good with the crossbow, something that we were trying to train Hobbs to do, but it seemed to be better just to dish out the cats for someone who could do it better right out the gate. And slowly, Rusthilt's small band of friends begins to become a much bigger band of companions and a bright future. At least, that's what he hopes.